going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings woke up 11-2. What it do on a 6-game winning streak, and after a dominating win against the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins, you feel good. And the Vikings have a legitimate chance to win out. The Vikings have a chance to retake the NFC North and the 1 seed, or be the first 15-2 wild card in NFL history. So stupid. But here, 10 truths about your high-flying Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Number 1, the best wide receiver duo in the National Football League. And Jefferson, Addison, just absolutely bat bleep insane, busting out for 5 combined touchdowns, 15 for 265. And Addison has talked about at length, like in some ways, like the pressure is on him because Justin Jefferson is going to get doubled and tripled. Safety help is going to be over the top. And if he doesn't step up, like there's no excuses, right? Because you see now that Darnold and Addison have a legitimate chemistry. And when Darnold's looking deep, as he often wants to do, he is looking for free three, yes indeed, because Addison is generally singled up and doesn't have immediate safety help, so he's going to be open over the top. The shots are there, and with Jefferson, it was just a matter of time. Getting off the touchdown schneid, felt beautiful seeing the gritty again, and I think that some teams are just like, you know what? We're not going to do the stupid thing where it's just like everyone except Jefferson is going to beat us, because then you'll just get beat. That's exactly what happens, man. But Jefferson, Addison, I mean, it's beautiful, man. Also, Darnold does trust Jalen Speedy Naylor. He's had a couple of drops, but hopefully he'll be good to go. Also, Hockenson, come on, man. Next up, number 2, Darnold is playing like an MVP. Absolutely legit. And Darnold had himself a day on Sunday, 347, completing 79% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, had 0 turnover-worthy plays as well. It's pretty damn impressive, as well as a 157.9 quarterback rating, a franchise record for a single game. And also, he set a franchise record for a number of games, 11, with a quarterback rating of 100+. So he's been really damn impressive, and these last 4 games, Darnold has been on a tear. Like ever since the debacle against the Jaguars, against the Titans, the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Falcons, he's led 2 come from game-winning drives against the Bears and the Cardinals, and he's thrown 11 touchdowns, 0 picks, and has been playing above the rim. Like I think we're seeing what Sam Darnold can be, and it's going to make a tough decision. Do you bring him back? Do you turn the keys over to J.J. McCarthy? Is Darnold setting the expectations so high for McCarthy that it's going to be hard for number 9 to overtake him in 2025? Don't know. I'm just enjoying this right now, and the fact that it seems like Kevin O'Connell is the certified quarterback whisperer makes you feel good about things, right? Next up, number 3. The run blocking has been legit. So since Cam Robinson came in the Colts game, as well as when Dalton Risner filled in for Ed Ingram, the Vikings have 100+ rushing yards in 4 out of 6 games. Jones and Cam Akers combined for 6.1 yards per carry on 18 carries, as well as a touchdown. And the offensive line is going to have to be hell for leather and just get after things in the run game, because everything works so much better when the Vikings are able to establish the run. And yeah, this team can throw, but having that running option helps wear down the front 7, keeps play action viable. Darnold is so damn good off of play action, as well as closing out the game, as you saw against the Falcons. Both Cam Akers and as well as Aaron Jones had some nice tough runs, and the guys up front, Robinson, Brandel, Bradbury, Risner, O'Neal, have proven that they can run block, but number 4, pass protection needs work. So Darnold was sacked 4 times and 41% pressure rate in the first half against the lowest pass rushing rated team in the league, the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons came into the game with 15 total sacks on the season. They got 4 in quick succession, right? Now, the offensive line did get its ish together in that second half when the Vikings exploded for 21 points in the fourth quarter. But throughout the first half of the game, it was not looking good. Bradbury getting overpowered, as well as miscommunications. Brandel not looking very good. Brian O'Neill got beat a couple times, which, I don't know. It's a good thing that Darnold has his mobility, but also I don't know if that's something that can hold up in a high leverage spot. Like if you protect Darnold, obviously that's going to be huge. But can you do it on the road? Can you do it in a legit pass rush against a legit pass rush? Can you do it in bad weather? Guess we'll see. Next up, number 5. The Vikings offense can be the best in the NFL. And I understand, like, oh, this is just recency bias. I mean, look at the Jaguars game. Yeah, what about it? Teams can have rough games, but also, you remember the first 4 games of the year where the Vikings were getting out to these massive leads, putting the bang thing on the Giants and the Texans, getting up 28-0 against the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, by the way, as well as getting out to a fast start, going toe-to-toe with the Lions, and the 2 touchdowns right away against the Rams. And this offense can be legit. Right, and there's been fits and starts, and they've overcome injuries, and there's been some slumps in there. But overall, like, the Vikings have been legit on offense, and they've averaged 29.5 points a game over the last 4 games, all 4 wins. They're on a 6-game winning streak, and they can do with the best of them, right? And with Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson, by the way, and Speedy Naylor and Aaron Jones out of the backfield, it really is a pick your poison. And also, the Vikings can be able to run the ball, but if they can protect, and Darnold can work his magic. Kevin O'Connell and Darnold are mind melding right now, and 14 is being put in some very good spots. So, yeah, I think that they're going to be pretty damn legit, and they're going to be tough out. Like, no one wants a piece of the Vikings in the playoffs. No one, absolutely no one. Number 6, the run defense is concerning. So the Vikings' run defense gave up a $158 against the Falcons and a touchdown to Bijan Robinson, 154 against Arizona. John Connor was definitely having himself a day. So, yeah, the structure of the defense, they definitely do miss Ivan Pace Jr., and that'll be a big part of it. But the Vikings, came into the last game as the number 1 run defense in the league. They're probably still top 3, but there's got to be a lot of things that get sorted out, all right? And I know that they're swapping out Redmond for Jerry Tillery at times. I think that that's a smart move, getting some more penetration up front, but it just comes down to discipline and making tackles, and the Vikings have had some issues with that the last couple of games. Next up, number 7, because Ivan Pace Jr. is missed. So Pace is just an absolute ball of energy. His blitzing is massively underrated. His run fits are elite. His coverage is pretty damn good as well. So it really is a spot where the Vikings are sort of playing left-handed, sort of like they did against the Lions and the Rams when Blake Cashman was out. But once they get Pace good to go, and O'Connell was pretty rosy that it would only be the 4 games, the Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, Seahawks, and he could return Week 17 against the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers, which would be legit because Josh Jacobs is looking pretty damn good. All right. Next up, number 8. Blitzes have to start getting home, and it's been frustrating at times where don't want to be reductive and say that, the Flores defense has been solved, but a lot of the Vikings blitzes simply are not getting home. And when that happens, you're bereft of players on the back end because you are sending multiple rushers. So also against the Falcons, like Kurt's big throws to Mooney on 3rd down were against the blitz. All right, so it is something that is concerning. Also, the Vikings only got 1 sack on Kirk Cousins, the most immobile of immobile quarterbacks this year. So there do have to be some changes up front, maybe some more creativity, maybe Cashman and company, calling more T&E stunts, more games up front, just finding ways to generate pressure where you got to start doing things because otherwise you are going to be exposed on the back end. Number 9, Will Reichard will be fine. Right, so Will the Thrill, he missed from 47, clang. Yeah, he did make from 39 earlier, but that was wiped out by penalty, and then the Vikings eventually got a touchdown, which is great, but your record's going to be fine, right? In practice, it talked about he's been a pipe hitter, hit from 60. People were freaking out and having a good time, so, Will Reichard will be fine. All right, lastly, and also, we know where John Parker Romo lives. Although he's probably going to get claimed off of waivers on Monday. Lastly, number 10, the Vikings can win the Super Bowl. Now, I know that people don't want to hear it because they're like, just take it 1 game at a time. Cautiously optimistic. Who scares you in the NFC? Legitimately. So the Lions have been tiptoeing to their tulips. We know that. They should have lost on Thanksgiving against the Bears. They should have lost against the Packers last Thursday. And the Eagles, the Eagles struggled at home against the Panthers. They're 13-point favorites, and they're just like, maybe we don't want to win the game. And also, I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to be cut out for prime time. Right? Name one thing that Jalen Hurts does well outside of the tush push or the brotherly shove. Not much. And even if the Vikings do have to go on the road at Seattle, which they are going to play Seattle in 2 weeks, bring it. Or on the road at Tampa Bay, bring it, Baker. That's right. Two former Panthers teammates just going at it, QB to QB. And the Packers bring it. Commies, whatever. Actually, I would love to play the Commies or the Packers if this playoff picture holds, because that means we'll see them in the NFC title game, and that means they'll be at US Bank Stadium. And also with the Lions, hey, the Lions can thump their chest and be all blustery and bravado and all that stuff, but they're scared. Like, they are legitimately worried about the Vikings, who are a freaking freight train right now. The Lions welcoming the Bills. The Bills are pissed off because they just lost to the Rams, so you know that they're going to be amped up. Josh Allen's looking like a freaking MVP freight train with 6 touchdowns. And I think that the Bills are going to beat the Lions. I think that the Lions will struggle on the road at Soldier Field. I think that the 49ers may be resurgent, maybe a couple injuries get back, and they'll struggle on Monday night, Week 17. And, of course, Vikings, Week 18 against the Lions. The Lions' defense can't stop anyone. Jared Goff is not made to win in a shootout. Sonic and Knuckles is great, except that they either have to have the lead or have it be a close game. So I say bring it. I say absolutely bring it. And the Eagles, like I said, I don't care. I do not care at all. The Vikings are cresting at the right time. They have the pieces to be the best offense in the National Football League. Defensively, in spurts, they've been the best pressure defense in the league. They get turnovers, and Will Rockard, knocking on all the wood. The Vikings finally have a good kicker. So, and also Kevin O'Connell is developing into a great strategist as well. Well, except for like that triple reverse flea flicker quarterback pass. Nah. But he and Darnold, like we said, are completely mind-melding. And, in hockey playoffs, if you have a goalie standing on his head, you can win any single game. And if you have a quarterback who has a chance to get streaky and get hot, you can win any single game. And that's exactly what the Vikings have in Sam Darnold. He has a chance to catch fire and do something beautiful and glorious. But let's finish out the regular season. Let the chips fall where they may. If the Vikings get the 1 seed, great. If they don't, whatever. Road Warriors, but just say it out loud, because it is true. The Vikings, 11-2, they're not a fluke. They can win in a myriad of ways. They've won big. They've won close games. They can beat you every which way but loose, and also loose. They'll beat you loose too. And we're going to whip somebody's ass. That's right. Hey, who cares? Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, absolutely do not care. Bring it on. But that's it. That's at Tell the Truth Monday. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.